is the gentleman from New York, Mr. Bishop, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to recognize the passing of Al Morindo Al Carvalheira, a Vietnam veteran who lived an extraordinary life of service to his country and to his fellow veterans. Al succumbed to cancer on January 21, 2013 at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northport, New York. Al was born on October 21, 1947 in Portugal. His family emigrated to the United States when he was 10 years old and settled in Wisconsin, New York. Al proudly served his country in the United States Army during the Vietnam War and received numerous awards and decorations, including 2 Purple Hearts, the Bronze Star Medal, and the Air Medal. Honorably discharged with the rank of sergeant in December of 1969, Al returned to his home on Long Island, where he pursued a career in nursing and was hired by the Northport VA Medical Center in 1977. There, he dedicated himself to the care and treatment of his fellow veterans as a VA registered nurse and nurse leader for nearly 4 decades. Al was known as a highly effective and empathetic caregiver who was never too busy to spend time with his patients, especially the most challenging among them. His own experience gave him a unique understanding of what his patients had endured in combat. In discussions with them, he often cited his favorite book, The Things They Carry, written by fellow Vietnam veteran Tim O'Brien. Soon after his start of his career at the VA Medical Center, Al was promoted to nurse manager, which gave him supervision of all inpatient psychiatric units and the outpatient treatment program. In addition to these significant responsibilities, Al trained and developed staff in crisis intervention and implemented a crisis response team for the safety of VA patients and staff. In order to provide veterans the best care possible, Al found the time to earn a master's degree in nursing from Stony Brook University. Dear to Al's heart was the Suffolk County, New York chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America, to which he devoted 38 years of service, working day in and day out, taking care of his boys, advocating for the needs of all veterans, and raising awareness of the contributions and sacrifices made by our nation's veterans and their families. In May of 2009, I had the great pleasure of working with Al and his friends and fellow Vietnam veterans, Richie Kitson and Clarence Simpson, to rename the Riverhead, New York Post Office in honor of Suffolk County's only Vietnam War Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, PFC Garfield M. Langhorne. That same year, Al took the lead in the construction and dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Garden on the grounds of the Northport VA Medical Center, which recognizes and honors the sacrifices of our nation's servicemen and women. The Memorial Garden's dedication ceremony was held in October 2010 and attended by more than 300 people. In 2011, Al and members of the VVA were inspired by Dignity Memorial's replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall to expand the Northport VA Medical Center's Vietnam Veterans Memorial Garden for the inclusion of a permanent war memorial known as the Wall of Wars. It was during this time that Al was diagnosed with cancer. Although Al will not be present at the VA's Veterans Day dedication of the Wall of Wars, his legacy as a war hero, a VA nurse, and a veterans advocate is and will be forever present on the grounds of the Northport VA Medical Center and throughout Suffolk County's veterans community. On January 25, 2013, Vietnam veteran and U.S. Army Sergeant Al Carvalheira was laid to rest with military honors at Long Island's Calverton National Cemetery. Al is survived by his beloved wife of 40 years, Geraldine, and their 2 sons, Al Morindo and John, as well as 6 grandchildren. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of New York's 1st Congressional District and a grateful nation, it is my honor and privilege to recognize Al Morindo Al Carvalheira for his distinguished service and many contributions to our nation and his fellow veterans. He will always be remembered with our love and appreciation. I yield back the balance of our time.